Fizban's Treasury of Dragons is offering a slew of new dragons to pit heroes against. The book also offers players new dragon-inspired races and subclasses to create a draconic-powered hero. In this video, I will be discussing the Drakewarden Ranger, a subclass letting players raise and train a dragon to help them on their adventure. I will be taking a look at the subclass's key features, offer some ideas on how to reflavor the subclass, and provide some ways you can play the Drakewarden Ranger in the official 5th edition settings. Hello, welcome to Dungeoneers Pack, a channel bringing you player-focused discussions and character guides for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. My name is Josh, thank you for watching. The Drakewarden Ranger remains mostly untouched compared to the version released for public testing. Drake Companion and Bond of Fang and Scale are the only two features that receive slight tweaks but ultimately function the same. First up, we have the subclass's key feature, Drake Companion. Our dragon pet keeps all of the same base abilities and stats presented in Unearthed Arcana. We still have the ability to determine and change the damage type it's associated with every time we summon it, its damage immunity is given based on the damage type chosen, the standard bite attack, and its reaction feature that provides additional energy damage to a weapon attack that is dealt within 30 feet of the dragon. We also still command our dragon using our bonus action, and we are able to summon it once per long rest, but we can expend a spell slot if we need to summon it again between rests. The change to the feature addresses my major issue with the subclass. Our companion no longer has a time limit and sticks around permanently when we summon it. Removing the time limit alleviates potential but minor action economy issues a ranger player may have in combat, as well as get rid of unnecessary bookkeeping the time limit imposed. What I find more exciting than the streamlining of its mechanics is how lifting the time restriction helps the story narrative of the subclass, giving the player an incentive to roleplay a bond between the companion and themselves. Bond of Fang and Scale begins to show how our bond with our companion begins to change them. Compared to the playtest version, the increase in damage to the dragon's bite attack, damage resistance abilities, and the option to grant our companion flight or swim speed when we summon it remain untouched. The biggest change is in the form of a new ability altering the companion's size. Originally, the companion remained the small size until 15th level where it would become large. Now Bond of Fang and Scale has your dragon grow to medium size with the ability to ride it even if your character is medium size. The only catch is if you plan to ride your dragon, it cannot use its flight speed, but you are still able to use its swim speed. Being able to ride the dragon even if we are the same size is an interesting solution to help facilitate a dragon rider character early on. With the dragon now growing from a small to medium before jumping to large size, it avoids the narrative weirdness of needing to explain how a small baby dragon becomes a full-grown behemoth in an instant. Bond of Fang and Scale gives our dragon the Charmeleon to their Charmander and Charizard forms. Our dragon going through a Pokemon evolution as we adventure brings me to take inspiration from the franchise and turn the Drakewarden into a monster tamer. We can make this happen by capitalizing on the summoning ability for the Drake Companion. Each time we summon the Drake, we can change its damage type, and at later levels, we are able to grant it flight or swim speed. Instead of having the same companion, each combination of damage type and movement speed is a different creature we have befriended on our adventure. I would discuss with the DM to incorporate capturing monsters into the game's story, tying a specific damage and movement combination to a monster that has been captured. In addition to this, I would ask and collaborate with the DM to change certain aspects of the Drake Companion stat block to better reflect the monster we have captured. For example, changing the dragon creature type to another creature type. The subclass has a built-in size evolution, so when we hit certain levels, our stable of battling monsters take on new forms. Drake's Breath gives us an opportunity to grant each of our monsters a special attack, and while our ranger can also perform the maneuver, I would refrain from doing so, only using the ability to stem from our companion. Now let's take a look at some character ideas for the Drakewarden Ranger for each of the 5th edition settings. In Forgotten Realms, we could be a devout follower of Bahamut, gifted a Drake to raise by the god in order to defeat Tiamat and her followers. In Eberron, we could be a hero who has come into possession of a mage-bred beast created by House Vidalis for the war. On the run from the house, you would do anything to protect your companion and keep it out of the hands of those looking to utilize it for nefarious means. In Ravenloft, we could be a ranger who has discovered a baby dragon, a creature thought long forgotten. Fearful for its life, you raise a creature in secret to prevent the dark powers from destroying or corrupting it. In Ravnica, you could be a Boros trooper selected to raise and train a special wyvern, developed in a joint operation by the Izzet and Simic. In Theros, we could be a champion that was tasked with taming a Nyxborn beast created by Nylea. Now you travel with your companion, performing heroic feats, building a legend that rivals the gods. And finally, in Strixhaven, we could be a student of the Prismari. Mixing imagination, artistry, and arcane, we bend the elements to create a companion that is a work of art. When the Drakewarden Ranger was released for public testing, my biggest issue with it was the Drake Companion was by your side for a limited time. Fortunately, Wizards fixed this and our dragon pet is just like other pet subclasses in the game. With the time limitation removed, it allows players to dive into the animal companion character fantasy with a draconic twist. Overall, the mechanics of the class remain relatively unchanged, with the few changes in the final version being there to address the community's dissatisfaction with the narrative implications of the features from the playtest version. Being able to keep our dragon by our side permanently and having its size change as we level goes a long way in making players feel a sense of connection and growth. Granting characters the ability to ride the Drake when it's medium size helps those wanting to feel like dragon riders. Without this change, only small creatures would have been able to live out their dragon rider dreams. The only issue I have with this subclass is that we have to wait until its final feature to be able to ride and fly with our Drake. While it makes perfect sense to have this to be the final feature, due to average player experience, many may not reach that level of play to use this feature. Bringing that ability to the level 11 feature could accomplish that. Being that this is a pet-based subclass, there will be comparisons drawn between it and the Beastmaster Ranger. It shares, but it's less impacted by the same issues as the Beastmaster Ranger. The subclass's damage output and abilities are dependent on the pet, but unlike the Beastmaster, the Drakewarden was given some features that don't require the pet in order to function. While the Beastmaster Ranger was the go-to option for the character archetype, even after improvements to the subclass and Tasha's, the Drakewarden is much more seamless in its execution, providing fun, flavorful, and familiar mechanics. With that said, I want to hear from you. What do you think of the Drakewarden Ranger? Let me know down in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, and if you want to see more content like this, I drop a video every week, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're looking to connect with me or the rest of the Dungeoneers Pack community, consider joining the official Discord. You can join the Discord by clicking on the link in the description below. Alright, I'm out of here. Have a good one.